Hmm. Hmm.
Greetings! Oh, did I surprise you? I am the Game Master. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Let's begin, shall we? My job is to draw you into this world with my voice and cards. So I'd be very pleased if you would play with the sound on. That being said, my voice is also subtitled, just like this, for your reading enjoyment. It looks like you're all set. Well then, let's begin. Welcome to the world of Voice of Cards. You're about to embark on a journey as the hero of this tale. This realm is home to humans and monsters. It is there you and your allies' adventure will unfold. That's the spirit. Now then, it's time to depart. Safe travels, my friend. A girl faces off against a monster within a dim cave. The girl adjusts her stance, readies her weapon, and lunges at her opponent. The monster defeated, the girl lets out a sigh of relief. She surveys the area, but sees neither hide nor hair of other beasts. This girl is the hero of our story, and your window into the world. Despite your youth, you are a fierce warrior who defends your village from monsters. I have to get home. Your mission accomplished, you quickly leave the area. In this world, there are creatures known as monsters. Humans have long been in conflict with these beasts. This ballista was installed to safeguard the village. Its massive arrows have split many a monstrous skull. This trap was rigged up to protect the village. Boulders drop from above and crush the monsters below. This concealed pit trap was dug in order to protect the village. A growing pile of monster corpses lies at its bottom. Your village lies deep beneath the earth. Everyone has taken to living underground to safeguard themselves from the monsters. Although the village itself is well protected, the people within it are slowly but steadily spiraling toward ruin. The village is the same as always. It appears the battle above has not affected life here at all. An elderly man approaches you. Well done hunting down those beasts. Are you unharmed? He asks. You nod. He gives a sigh of relief, then begins asking question after question about the monster's strength and numbers. He appears to be worried about the gates and mechanisms on each level and whether they'll be enough to defend the village. Don't worry, I'll protect the village, you reassure him in a cheery voice, then continue on your way home. The old man seems uneasy. I wonder if our village is truly safe from those beasts. The girl's face lights up when she sees you. Hey, come play with me again, she chirps, giving you a tight hug. There are large gaps in the roof and walls, but it hardly matters in a village with no rain. The young man's face turns red. If you need anything, I'm your guy, he exclaims. Ooh.
That happens.
The old woman smiles gently at you. Thank you for protecting our village, but don't push yourself too hard, dear, she says. As you enter your house, your mother envelops you in a warm hug. Your mother seems worried as you haven't been home in days. You've been away for so long. Let the others know you've returned, she says, handing you a basket full of eggs. They're eggs from your chickens. It's your job to distribute these throughout the village. Okay, I'll be right back, you exclaim with a cheerful smile.
Oh, they are all going to die. This was done by same guy who did Nier Automata.
After you give the old woman a few eggs, she hands you some homemade seasonings.
I have played this once before.
I will. You take care of yourself too, you hear? You reply in a lively voice. Just as you're about to hand the young man some eggs, you see his ears turn red, and he lifts a jar of water up. Don't worry, I can handle it, you assure him. Then take the jar and hand him some eggs. When the girl notices you, she immediately presents you with an armful of potatoes. That's incredible, you exclaim, giving her a good-natured pat on the head. You then trade her some eggs for the giant potato. You hand the elderly man some eggs, and he gives you a large fish in return. The elderly man forces a smile, and you give him a smile of your own. Everything will be all right, you reassure him before heading on your way. After making sure everyone receives their eggs, you quickly head home, spoils in hand. You return home to see tasty dishes upon the table. While simple, it is more extravagant than usual. "Happy birthday, dear," your mother says, stroking your cheek gently. That's right. Today is the day you turn 14.
She looks 25.
Your mother gifted you a handmade plush animal for the occasion. Oh, what an adorable plushie!
Must have. Ah.
I'm sorry I can't give you more, your mother laments. But you have nothing but gratitude for her. Just then, your stomach starts to rumble. Your mother smiles and asks, "Shall we eat?" That night at bedtime, you lay upon your bed with your plush animal in your arms. Yep, that's it, you say to yourself decisively. Your name is Ram. Your new plush animal officially has a name. It's nice to meet you, Ram. My name is...
Not important.
You introduce yourself to the plush animal, as any well-mannered person would. You decide to show your new friend your most prized possession. You grab the book that's always beside your pillow and flip through until you reach a certain page. Aren't the stars just beautiful? This is what the outside world looks like. I want to see it with my own eyes someday, you confess. Not long after, you feel yourself getting sleepy. A yawn escapes your mouth. But just then, a scream echoes through the village. Monsters. You dash out of your house. Not a moment later, the old woman rushes over. "The upper gates have been breached," she cries. Your mother rushes over with a concerned look on her face and places something in your hand. "I'm scared," the little girl whimpers. Her body trembles as she cries.
why it's doing that.
Before the 4th level gate, the villagers face off against the incoming beasts. An elderly man turns to you and exclaims, "We must close the gate. Please stop the monsters." You nod and turn both
Nothing I
pointed
can-
gaze and pointed
no.
weapon at the creatures. There are many traps nearby that will help you defeat the monsters. Use them to protect the gate.
Mm.
You defended the gate splendidly. Once the battle is over, the villagers tell you that the upper levels are in danger, so you make your way up. The young man is fighting back monsters, but is losing ground. It won't be long before they reach the gate. "I'll fight them off. You close the gate," you shout.
I will be right back.
The young man grimaces. "I'm so sorry," he says, closing the gate behind him.
Hmm. Yes.
You manage to defend the gate, but see the old man from the village approach. Blood oozes out of a gaping wound on his back. You rush to his side and check his pulse, but he doesn't have one. "But the village," you gasp out, your heart trembling in anger and unease. You need to get back to the village. Quick. The old man has already breathed his last. Pebbles patter down on you from above. When you look up, you see a giant hole in the ceiling. You wonder if that's how the monsters got in. Oh no. Your mother. Is she safe? The young man has already breathed his last. No longer will that cheerful voice ever call out to you.
It did.
The girl has already breathed her last. No longer will you feel her little hand hold yours. The old woman has already breathed her last. No longer will those warm eyes ever look upon you. You rush into your house, panting for breath, and find your mother on the ground in a pool of blood. "Mother!" you shriek. She opens her eyes, but only just. You sob and scream as you cling tight to her, but she never wakes to console you. Ram lies among the rubble, tattered and frayed. It is beyond repair. Your screams are the only sounds in the village that once hummed with life. Just then, a monster with a wounded eye appears. I found a survivor. As the monster shouts those resentful words, it lunges at you. You can't bring yourself to put up a fight. Everyone you ever cared about is gone forever. The monster roars with laughter. Is this all you sub-Terran worms can do? It taunts. The monster brandishes its weapon, readying to strike the final blow. Having lost all those precious to you, you close your eyes and resign yourself to your fate. When you open your eyes, you see the gravely wounded beast on the ground. You also see a boy, who you assume is the one who struck down the monster. You okay? He asks. In a faint voice, you ask him who he is. I'm here to save you, he answers as he helps you to your feet. Come on. This place is about to collapse, he says, then pulls you along. Maybe it's the shock, but you think you hear Ram, crushed under the debris, whisper, "Go."
Emo no.
Your home, your village, your family. Memories of your life underground flood your mind. You remember the old man who was such a worrywart, but only because he loved the village more than anyone else. You remember the little girl who always asked you to play with her. You remember the regrettably unreliable but undeniably kind-hearted young man. You remember the wise old woman who taught you all manner of things. Your heart aches for your mother, who loved you more than anyone.
Okay.
We're almost at the surface, the mysterious boy says. You don't know if you can trust him, but you have nowhere else to go. Though your legs are unstable, you keep moving forward, unsure what awaits.
So good.
You lay eyes on the surface for the first time in your life. Captivated by the endless sands before you, you scoop up a handful. Just then, the passage leading to your village collapses. Your family, friends, and even Ram are all buried in the sand now. You fall to your knees, overcome with grief. The boy stares at you, watching as you sob until you can barely breathe. Once you've calmed, he speaks. "Let's go," he says, then begins walking. The boy stands before some sort of wreckage. It appears to be the remains of some mode of desert transportation that was destroyed by a sandstorm. Whatever was inside of it seems to be missing, too. "Can you walk?" he asks you. For the first time, you realize just how thirsty you are. You shake your head, and the boy tells you of an oasis to the west. "Try not to faint before then," he says curtly. Once you arrive, both you and the boy scoop water out of the oasis to quench your parched throats. You swallow, hoping to ease the dryness in your throat, and cast your hollow eyes at the sky. "I can't see this." "Of course you can't," he replies. "The sun never sets here. In a world without night, stars are merely a thing of fairy tales." When you ask the boy where he's going, his answer is short. To get revenge. Revenge. A darkness finds its way into your once hollow eyes. "I want revenge on the monsters," you whisper. "They robbed you of everything you loved. There's no way that can go unpunished." "Follow me," he says. then extends a hand to you. You take it. The boy says he's heading to Steelborough in the north to find a means to exact his revenge.
Hello.
You decide to head that way with him.
Lucky. Thank you for the follow. Uh, Should be on here for too long. I'm gonna nap and then I stream today. Hooray.
To battle.
Uh, I always have bad luck with this chest. Huh?
Get him. You find yourself in awe of the large and lively town, a far cry from where you came from. As you stand wide-eyed in wonder, the boy says, "Follow me," and walks off. Steel boats are lined up before you. They remind you of the ones in your book, though those vessels floated upon the ocean. The boy sees your eyes darting about and laughs. What? Are you a country bumpkin or something? Country bumpkin. You repeat his words curiously. You can't be serious, he exclaims in bewilderment.
Boy, I could fuck your mom. Don't test me.
You see a woman stuffing her mouth with something delectable and ask her what she's eating. "This is just normal bread," she answers. "Just normal bread?" you repeat curiously. "Hey there, miss. How about a pretty hairpin? I think it'd suit you perfectly." "Thank you," you reply as you accept the accessory, then walk off. Wait, you didn't pay," he calls after you. Confused, you decide to return the gift instead. You contemplate entering the strange building, but decide it's best not to go poking around unfamiliar places. The gatekeeper bars your path. Only those with business in the mines are allowed to pass. You see a woman holding a parasol and can't help but wonder what it's for. You finally catch up to the boy. Apparently tired of waiting for you, he grabs your hand and pulls you into the grandiose building. In front of the boy stand several masked elders. "I brought her," he says, briefly introducing you. "Very well, you may go," they tell him curt. As he passes, he whispers to you that these people are members of the town's governing body, the Senate. "We are the ones who told him to bring you here," one of the senators explains in pompous tones. "It appears, for whatever reason, they have need of you." The senator refers to you as a subterran. According to legend, those who live beneath the surface have the power to subjugate monsters. He says they have need of that power. The senator explains the town's situation to you. The people of Steelborough have been living by the grace of a mighty monster known as the Steel Primal that inhabits the mines. But in recent years, that beast has begun to rampage. The senator explains that due to the Primal's influence, other monsters have been growing violent. "It may be why your village was attacked," he says with an exaggerated frown. The three senators ask you to use your powers to subdue the Steel Primal. If the Steel Primal truly is why your village was destroyed, you have no reason to refuse. "If it means getting revenge, I'll do it," you say. Still, you have no idea how to use your so-called powers to subjugate beasts. Just then, one of the senators speaks. "According to legend, you need special tools to activate your powers." Summoned by the senator, the boy presents you with new clothes and a weapon. He also hands you a bundle of papers that look like cards. You take them as told. "It looks like you're ready," a senator says, and a monster in a steel cage is brought in. "Now, subterran, show us your powers," they all but command. Though surprised by the sudden turn of events, you take your weapon in hand.
Tutorials.
You defeat the beast with ease. And then... the cards you were handed earlier begin to glow, and the light envelops the monster. The senators explain that you can now summon the beast and use it in battle. With a trembling hand, you raise the card with the monster sealed inside it. Just like the legend, the senators exclaim with joy. You affix your gaze on the card. If only I had this power before. Having witnessed your power, the senators order you to make for the mines, and one of them hands you some money for your journey. Seeing you gaze at the money with a curious expression, the boy explains. Above ground, we use this to buy things and pay people to work. Having lived your whole life beneath the surface, you don't quite understand the coin he's given you. But you can tell it's not much. The senators then summon the boy and give you both an edict. Defeat the steel primal in the mines and seize its power. With that, you and the boy make your way toward the monster's den.
For another 45 minutes. I'm calling quits, taking a nap, getting up and streaming again.
You're ready to set off toward the mines and defeat the primal. But I have an errand to run, the boy tells you. You can do some shopping while you wait. And without further ado, he walks. You despair for a moment, having never gone shopping before. But with nothing else to do, you set out in search of shops. You enter a store and see dozens upon dozens of monsters. You quickly ready your weapon for a... Just then, the shopkeeper rushes out. Stop, he exclaims. He claims that the monsters are for sale. Upon closer inspection, you realize that they are bound by chains. Something about the conversation leaves you feeling icky, so you turn to leave. But you realize that you could harness your subterran power to control the monsters. After you enter the shop, you realize you have no clue what to do. You tell him that you don't understand how shopping works. Though initially surprised, he then asks if there is anything you would like to buy and shows you his wares.
Oh.
Anything else? The shopkeep inquires.
Need equipment. Here is the game partner.
What can I help you with? The shopkeep asks.
Alright. Oh.
anything else? The shopkeep inquires.
Oh, yeah, from the bitch that was the final fight. Yeah, whoop. A minute.
It's too dangerous to leave town alone. You decide to wait for the boy instead. You enter the inn, and the proprietor says, "Looks like you don't need to pay to rest here." You step out of the inn, feeling rested and ready. Hurry and seize the beast's power, they say. No sooner have you set foot inside the game parlor than you hear the boy at the counter call to you, "Let's play cards."
It's not.
You can't take your eyes off the bread. "You're not getting any. Run along now," she says, shooing you away. "Isn't the city great?" the boy asks, beaming with pride. Your head tilts almost of its own accord as you turn the word over in your mind. "City? Hey there, miss. How about a pretty hairpin?" He seems to be some sort of merchant. Knowing that you cannot waste your precious money, you scurry away.
Where do I?
"What can I help you with?" the shopkeep asks.
Ah.
The boy returns, wiping his hands on his clothes. You wonder if his errand was just a simple trip to the restroom. The time has finally come to fight the primal. The gatekeep, having gotten official notice from the senators, allows you to pass. As you walk, the boy asks, "Do you think I can summon the monsters in the cards too?" Unsure yourself, you decide to test it right away. I guess you could just let the monster go, he remarks. Faced with your hate-filled denial, he murmurs, "Right."
No. Let me go.
A masterful victory!
Aw. Ooh.
To battle! Beautiful!
E.
Battle time.
E. Oh.
what's this? You ask, seeing the intrigue glimmer in your eyes. The boy says, walking is a pain, so we might as well get in.
Boink. Heyo. Huh? Oh. And I. Uh.
Battle time.
Just. Ah.
Get him.
Ooh.
I expected nothing less.
Hmm. Oh.
This would have been so handy to have back home. Anything that needed to be moved was done so by hand. The boy quietly lends an ear as you reminisce of your village. It sounds like you were all one big family, he comments. You nod, a little teary-eyed. You realize that you've been the only one talking, and ask the boy to tell you about his own. But the boy simply shrugs you off. I don't see the point, he says, somewhat sadly. That's how it's done?
Hmm. You know what? Get very
Battle
sick
time.
of circles.
Oh!
So. Equipment. This way. Much easier getting to the
Monsters block your path. Knowing you need to press on, you and the boy decide to strike them down.
Oh, that's it. Hmm.
A large lever protrudes from a fixture in the ground. What might it control, you wonder? You heave the lever over to the other side. You hear rails squeaking somewhere off in the distance as they slide into place.
Ooh.
A sinister beast rears its head. It appears to be the Steel Primal. The monster seems enraged and has lost its senses. It's all your fault, you exclaim, brandishing your weapon at the beast. The Primal unleashes a roar, then lunges at you.
Bring it.
You successfully defeat the beast and capture it in a card. Your breathing is ragged after having avenged your village. Let's report back, the boy says. And the two of you return. If you choose leave, you'll be whisked outside right away. You decide to leave the mines behind right away. The senators await your return. When you tell them you have defeated the primal, they demand. Why? You ask. Not. We're declaring war on the neighboring town, they tell you. The primal's power will ensure our victory. You object and tell the senators that declaring war makes them no different than monsters. One of the men then turns to the boy and shouts, "Get that card." As ordered, the boy pushes you and takes the Steel Primal's card.
Oh,
When you try to take the card back, he pushes you once more. "What are you doing?" one of the senators roars. "Give me that card this instant." He approaches the boy, and then... The senators, taken aback, demand to know what the boy is doing. "Getting revenge," he answers with a twisted grin. "Did you forget who took you in, you fool?" one senator demands fiercely. The boy spits and glares at the men. So he's getting revenge for the horrible things the senators have done to him. "I'm a human being," he shouts, before killing every last one of them. You can barely stand to look at their mangled corpses.
all right.
At your shocked expression, the boy says, "They didn't deserve to live." He explains that the primal only became enraged after the senators attempted to claim its power. He also tells you that it was those same senators that sent the monsters to your village. It was all a ploy to get the Subterran's power to control monsters. Faced with the truth, you find yourself at a loss for words. "People will come after us. Let's go," he says, then pulls you along. "We'll take a sand skiff and flee," he tells you. He claims there are plenty of them in Steelborough. This is hardly the time to be dilly-dallying. You need to get out of here, and fast. Even fleeing requires preparation. You keep an eye out for your pursuers and enter as calmly as possible. Just as the boy said, there are several sand skiffs at the entrance. Let's take one. Hurry, he says, running toward the boats. You scramble after him. Before you can board the boat, you stumble. What are you doing? The boy demands. Though his tone is harsh, he helps you up. Just then, guards from the city catch up to you and attack. Beautiful. A masterful victory. Destroy the other boats so they can't come after us, he instructs. You summon the Steel Primal, who easily crushes all the sand skiffs. They are squashed flat. This is the only vessel that can still... Let's go. You and the boy board the boat, then make your way out of town. According to the boy, these boats can traverse quicksand, which is impossible on foot. Meaning, if you can get across some, there's a large swath of it to the east. We'll lose them there, he says. You plunge the sand skiff over the quicksand, then cautiously look around. It seems you've managed to shake your pursuers. The boy returns the Steel Primal card to you. I'm sorry for using it, he says. You take the card back from him. What do we do now? You whisper. You've both gotten your revenge. He turns to you and asks, How about you? You question back. The boy gives a somewhat sad laugh. You place your hand to your chest and wonder what you want to do. You loathe monsters, but is continuing to fight them what you truly want? You suddenly remember the dream you confessed to your plush animal. I want to see the stars, you say. It's been your dream since you were young. The boy nods. I'll show you the most beautiful stars in the world, he says, then extends a hand to you. You take it. You both realize you haven't introduced yourselves yet. Legol, he says, where your journey to avenge your village ends, a new one with Legol begins.
Oh. Right. Ugh. Ugh.
Several days after you escape Steelborough,
Mm.
Legol helps you row the sand skiff you stole as you fled,
Yeah.
but there isn't a scrap of food. You probably should have had more of a plan, you think to yourself. You fear if you make so much as a peep. You propel the boat forward with all your might, when suddenly a patch of quicksand swallows your sand skiff whole.
Mm.
Where are we? You look around. At the very least, your tight grip on the boat has prevented you from, but in a desert this vast and empty, there's no telling how far the quicksand might have taken. We better find some water, Legol grumbles, shaking sand out of every possible crevice. You nod at him and begin searching your surroundings. Unfortunately, your legs are less cooperative. They may as well be made of lead.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna call it here. I'm going to bed and get back on later today. Thank you all for coming.